concrete walls. There's a place for us where we could go, where we could be alone. Between city lights, we don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow?
Oh my god.
Come with
There's some
me,
lag.
do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know,
That's how much lag
do
there
you wanna
is.
follow?
No worries, Decode. I will not be quitting my day job. Trying to... What? Wait a minute. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There we go. Hang on. Oh, Alex almost really screwed this up. Yeah. It's good that I had the desktop audio muted. Albert Kim. Hello, Albert Kim. Always good to see one of my moderators in the chat. Albert Kim, a famous YouTuber, and tagged as moderator on my channel. Hello, everybody. Stop talking about... Why are you talking about Albert Kim? No, let's enter this. I mean, Albert, there's nothing wrong with you, dude. I love you, man, but we got to start the... You got to start the live stream on a high note. You can't start with just like, squirrel, Albert Kim. How you guys doing? It's Monday night. Steve Maslin, another one of my moderators. How's it going, guys? It's Monday night. It's 8 p.m. And like clockwork, never miss it. It's time to live stream. What happened at 3 p.m.? Some of you may have noticed that my live stream started at 3 p.m. today, or whatever time it was this afternoon. What happened was when I make the new live stream event, it defaults to noon Pacific time. And I created the new event, and I never hit save. I just created the new event, but then somehow Google decided that since it was noon Pacific, it should just start the live stream, which seems like doesn't seem like, oh, geez, guys, I'm so sorry. There we go. I never switched over from my beautiful singing voice. The live stream, so it's been just a day of technical foobars. I think if you create the live stream event but you don't hit save, it shouldn't like tell all your followers that you're streaming right now. So there you go. Here I am. Get ready. Here it comes. No, I got it. That's just how much lag there is. I saw somebody say, "Where's Joshua's bald head?" And I thought, well, what? Did I grow hair? And then I just moved on. We're drinking tonight some lemonade and orange tangerine squirt. This live stream sponsored by Mio Flavor Squirts. Not really, but I mean, I would do it. I try not to take sponsorships from anybody in the industry because I don't want anybody saying that I've compromised my integrity. They say that anyway, so I don't know why I bother. But I would take a sponsorship from Mio Flavor Squirts because, like, how is that going to affect my opinion of any RC-related stuff? So, we're going to start the chat. We're doing the questions. We're doing the answers. You ever been here before? Is this your first time in the live stream? Say hi in the live stream if it's your first time. Remote-controlled Panda. Remote-controlled Panda? I don't think I've seen you here before. Erox FPV wants to know an answer to a question. We will be getting to the answers to the questions. Daniel Zowerton, yes, the lights on the workbench behind me are to help create ambient lighting behind me. It's not a office, it's a set. Hello, Decode. Decode, is your first time here? I don't believe you. You've been here. I've seen you around. Broke Mechanic, you're here. JW, Wolfie, Jason Peters, Dark Sagan, Travis Martinez, Mike Hogue, Henry Grochola. What's up? I have not seen you before. Frank Dario, and many others. Many others. Travis Martinez, the clown, JJ Rotor Riot. Uh-huh. Okay. So here's what we're going to be doing, guys. Wow. Wow, for so many first-timers. FPV Graybush. There's only one definition I know of for the term Graybush. FPV Graybush. Here's what we're doing, guys. This is my screen. Here's all the questions you guys are going to ask me. You're going to ask questions in the chat. I'm going to do my best. Commonwealth. I didn't miss you, dude. There you are. Commonwealth, John Lawson. I can't read them all. There's too many. There's so many. There's so many, Chon Wang. We're going to just spend the entire live stream reading people's names. And that's not what we're going to do. We're going to answer your questions. You're going to ask questions here in the chat. And I'm going to do my best to answer. Yes, it's from Grandma's Boy, East Coast FPV. That is a very underappreciated movie. Grandma's Boy is a it transcends its stoner roots. I definitely believe that. You're going to ask the questions. Cricket! I saw cricket in Atlanta. We'll talk about that in a second. You're going to ask questions. I'm going to answer the questions. If the questions go by too fast for me to see, look, here's Luke to you. It's going to be gone by the time I get to it. If you want to make absolutely sure I get to your question, hit that $, send me a super chat, and it pulls it out into this window. I definitely always get the super chats. The other thing that I want to let you know about a way you can participate in the live stream is to join my Discord. Here we are already here on the live stream chat channel of my Discord server. My Discord server, people say, well, how do I join your Discord server? Everybody likes to be on Discord servers. I don't know why, but they like to be on the Discord servers. It's like Jerry Seinfeld's bit. People like to go out. Why? What's out? I don't know. We're going out. I want to be on the Discord server. That's the modern version of that bit. I'll work on that. If you want to join my Discord server, you can do that by joining my Patreon. That's how you get access. That's the only way. Sorry. But you can just ask me questions anywhere. It's all good. Cricket's here. I saw cricket in Atlanta this weekend. In fact, you may remember from a previous live stream. No, my bad. I posted a video and someone said, how dare you post a video in the middle of Botgrinder's live stream? And I said, well, I don't know. He was just teasing me. But I was like, I didn't know Botgrinder was... I don't keep up with where everyone's live streaming. And so I jumped on to Botgrinder's live stream, and he's panhandling for... I guess some things never change. He's a YouTube star now, but he still panhandles. That's fine. There's no shame in that. He's panhandling for money to get a plane ticket to Atlanta. And I was like, okay, well, here, go to Atlanta. Have fun. I gave him a donation. He said, I'm going to Atlanta to fly with Cricket and Stingy. And I was like, can I come? Because I don't want to butt in. I don't want to be rude. And they were like, yes, come on. They were super cool about it. And then TAC showed up. TAC FPV showed up. No one invited him. No one even told him. I don't know how he found out it was happening. He showed up. That guy's a jerk. Hello, Daryl Hick from Connecticut. Cricket needs a donation. License to drive, dude. Nobody here is going to be able to help you. I'm sorry, man. I feel you, but no one here is going to be able to help you with your questions about your YouTube channel URL. That's really not on topic. So here's what I want to show you. Corey's like, hey, have you got your footage from Atlanta? I haven't edited it yet, but like, I got some good footage, I think. So what I want to do, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Let's see if I can find something good from Atlanta. This would be my last flight at the construction site. This is the video that Steele did. Here, let me tell you something before we do that. So Steele releases a video at this site, and it's like God mode activated. Steele is I think a much better pilot than he gets credit for, which some of you are going to be like, you're like, what are you talking about? People think he's the best FPV pilot in the whole world. I got to tell you, I would say this to his face. I watch his footage sometimes, and I go, why are people so impressed with this dude? Like, it's just like, you know, flip, roll, flying through a gap. Like, it's not like cricket. Cricket does a backwards dive through something, and you're like, blah, 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 blah. What did he just do? No individual thing that Steele does, like, knocks my socks off. But I got to fly some of the locations I've seen him fly, and I was like, oh my God, how did he fly? He's really good. He's just good in kind of an understated way. But he releases this video, God mode activate, and he just rips the guts out of this site. And then is like, hey, do you want to go fly that site? And I'm like, I don't see what the point would be of that. Since no, I'm not going to do it any better than Steele, I may as well just quit. But no, you can't think like that. You can't think like that. So let's take a look. What did I get from this site? Here, I haven't even looked at this pack. It's just my last pack. Let's see, how did JB do? No edits. Honesty. How did I do? This is my last pack at this site. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about that gap. What are we gonna do with this gap? What are we gonna do? We're gonna do a little. Okay. Oh, hang on a second, son. Wait a minute. Oh no. Effed it up. Make it look good. Play it off. Play it off like you meant to do that. Try again. Set it up again. Here we go. Boom. And where is it? What? Blah, 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 blah. Hey, that wasn't so bad. Anyway, more of that in my edit coming out soon. I want you guys to ask in the chat. Ask Cricket how many GoPros he broke this weekend. Cricket. Oh my God, wrong screen. Oh my, Alex is. Oh. Ion FPV, thank you for asking about the photo on my wall. We're gonna start the Q&A. Hang on. I'm so glad you asked that. Hang on. This was sent to me by a viewer. I'm not going to shout names because sometimes people don't necessarily want to be called out by name, but thank you. This is amazing. It's hand drawn. And it was sent to me by a viewer, and I could not. I got to find a place to put it, but for now it's just sitting here, and I just could not be more proud. So thank you for that. Don't fall over. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so we're gonna do some chat, some streaming, some Q's and A's streaming. I should fire Alex. Cricket says in the chat he's got 40 dead GoPros. I believe it. I swear. I mean, I can vouch for he went to GoPro every day this weekend. I mean, Best Buy. Every day this weekend. I think he probably broke 4 this weekend. He just tears it up. So he didn't care though. I mean, he's got the insurance or whatever, and just rock and roll. That's how you get good. That's how you get good, kids. Just don't be afraid to break things. I guess what I'm saying is get good by having money, like everything else in life. DJ Pop in the Discord asks, where's Cricket getting the money? He works for Rotor Riot, don't you know? He's a Rotor Riot pilot. They're balling. Tommy's got a Tesla. Drew's got blue hair. Nah, I am just trying to tease. So, Got a splash on my screen here. All right, guys. Let's do some questions. I'm going to get to the super chat in a minute, but I always like to take questions from the regular chats soon. Thoughts? Somebody asks thoughts on the... Where'd it go? Somebody asks thoughts on the DJI FCC notification, FPV air unit controller and goggles. Christian Malika. Somebody noticed this week that there's a patent, I guess, or an FCC notification or something about a new DJI product, and people are trying to suss out details about it. All I can say is that I can't say anything about that. That's all I can say about that. Moving on. Dino FPV says that was dark. It does take money to make money, though. No, my point is this. My point is, the more, if you have one quad and you're terrified to break it, you will not get as good in the same amount of time as somebody who has as many quads as they want and never cares about breaking them. Those are two extremes. Like, imagine that you had an infinite amount of money and never had to build. It's sim mode, right? You just break the quad, somebody hands you a new one, you go fly. How good would you get? You would just fling yourself at tricks and break the quad and try again. You would be able to do things that no one else had ever been able to learn to do. So the problem is that if you say, all right, beast mode, activate, you break your quad, and then you're grounded because you have no money, you can't fix it. Now you're not getting better. So you gotta... Everybody I know who has gotten good in a short amount of time is either a 14-year-old prodigy or a middle-aged adult with deep pockets. Big Ron wants to know, battery on top or bottom, what's your preference and why? For freestyle, I like battery on top, not because of handling. You remember the video Rotorite did where they had the blind test 2306, 2207? I say you remember the video. It was like 2 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago. And at the end of it, in a blind test, like, you kind of couldn't tell the difference. There just wasn't that much difference. People talk about top mount versus battery mount. I would bet a fair amount of money that many pilots just couldn't even tell the difference. And it's not that it doesn't make a difference. It's just that the PID controller kind of makes the quad do what you tell it to do. The motors have a lot of authority, and at the end of the day, I bet most people couldn't tell the difference. But I prefer top mount for freestyle because in freestyle, a lot of the time you are tapping and bonking. And if the battery's on bottom, then you hit the battery. But if the battery's on top, I think you're more likely to not damage it. And you can do things like zoop, bonk and pop off. You can do skids. You just can't do that with a bottom mount battery. The other thing about a bottom mount battery is if you're skimming the deck real low, right, and you snag the battery, now you're done. But with a top-mount battery, that doesn't happen. For racing, racers really seem to prefer bottom-mount batteries. I'm not even 100% sure why. That just seems to be the way they like to build. But I like top-mount for freestyle for practical reasons, not really physics reasons. Ricky O'Hara has $400 for a quad, transmitter, and goggles. That's tough, Ricky. Especially if you're talking about a 5-inch. If you're talking about a 3-inch or a 2-inch, then I could think of some suggestions for you. Let's say that of your $400 budget, $100 is going to go to your transmitter. That's going to buy you either like a QX7 or an X9 Lite. Okay? Both of those are really, really solid radios for $100-ish. The X9 Lite's even cheaper. Some people are going to complain about the X9 Lite and the whole access protocol debacle, but if you're new to the hobby, it's not going to make your break. If you don't like it, buy the QX7. So now you got about $300 left. I think you're going to really struggle to find a quad worth building for less than about $200, but the problem is that only leaves you $100 for your goggles. So I guess I would say QX7, EV800D, or Fat Shark Scout Recon, whichever the cheaper one is. And either a home built with whatever money you have left, or get something like one of the Tyro kits. The Tyro 79 and the Tyro 99 are not great, but for a first build, they're okay. And you're going to break them, and then you're going to fix them, and you're going to spend another $50 in 2 weeks. But that's, I guess, where I would send you. That's what I think. Hawkeye goggles are $80 as a starter set. Says Wolfie 2671. I personally haven't tested them, but I'll throw them out there. Skadoosh bottom mount. Skadoosh says bottom mount usually lands on the battery for racing, and turtle mode's easier. Dragging the weight gives a better feel in the gates. I would debate you on better feel, Skadoosh. I mean, I would love to see maybe we'll do this, a Rotor Ride episode where we take Van over and we give him a top mount and a bottom mount and try and see if he can blind tell the difference. I don't want to embarrass him again after the 2306, 2207 episode though, so maybe we shouldn't. I mean, there you go. But, as far as turtle mode, I know that racers always are running shark fins anyway, so they can flip over if they need to. So, Hoda D6 Charger asks Sean Mack. Sean Mack, this is a very common question and very easy to answer, so it is perfect for the live stream. And by the way, I will be getting to the super chat in just a minute. Just want to knock out some questions, some free questions for all the plebs. You guys... I'm joking when I'm like, y'all the plebs in this regular chat. That's just a joke. You don't take that seriously, right? A little while back in one of my videos, I said, y'all are idiots. And somebody else was like, Joshua Bardwell thinks his customers are idiots. And I was like, no, we're just having fun here. You goofballs. Hoda D6. So this is the Hoda D6. And this is the Hobby Mate D6. And boy, gosh, they look similar, don't they? Oh, SMC is selling it. In fact, they're the exact same radio, or the exact same charger. They're identical. I don't remember whether Hobby Mate manufactures it and Hoda rebadges it or the other way around. They're identical. For some reason, the Hoda one is more expensive. Like, if you look on Amazon, Hoda D6. I don't know why. It's slightly more expensive, but it's the exact same thing, and neither is the original, and neither is ripping off the other. You buy whichever one you like. The other thing I will point out, they just released, I just bought one of these, in fact, they just released, it's normally about $150, $160 for the AC DC version that plugs into the wall. If you don't need it to plug into the wall, you can now buy a DC only version for about $100. So that's pretty slick. I actually just bought myself one of those. So. All right. Okay, let's go. Normally I go normal chats, super chats, Discord. Let's jump over to the Discord. Let's go the other direction. We'll go counterclockwise instead of clockwise. Over here in the Discord. How you doing, patrons? Yeah, DJ Pop points out that if he has changed 40 GoPros, that's $2,400 in insurance. You know what? I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying. I ain't saying nothing. He's in the chat. He can speak for himself if he wants to. What's his deal? Singrith says, I'm brand new to the hobby, so forgive me if I'm asking a stupid question. No, everybody was, didn't know the answer to their questions, so there's no stupid questions. If at the end of the charge, one or more cells is down, hold a close. Do you think Do you think lithium-ion batteries will be used in the future instead of lipos? So what Singrith is referring to is some people are making packs out of 18650 cells. The advantage of the 18650 cells, like the same cells that people use like in the vapes, the vaporizer things, the advantage of those is that they have higher energy density. They have more energy per gram, but they are not as good at high discharge rates, and that's where lipo cells really excel. The 18650s might get up to like 15 or 30 C at most, whereas lipos can easily hit, even if you take into account that the C rate is usually inflated, a lipo will hit 75, 80, 100, 120 C. They can just dump current like it's nobody's business. So when you see people building these 18650 packs, they are usually for lower discharge. Like the classic case is a long-range plane, a fixed wing. Well, it's only got one engine and it's only pulling 12 amps at mid-throttle, so who cares? Build an 18650 case and get longer flight time for your battery weight. But for mini quads, I don't see how, unless they just do something radical with the 18650 chemistry, I don't see how they're going to get the discharge rates that mini quads require. We have to be pulling 50, 60, 80, 100 amps, and you need a really big 18650 pack to get up there. That being said, bear in mind that just because something is in the 18650 cell size doesn't mean its internal chemistry isn't a lipo. You can put a lipo chemistry in there just as easy as a lithium ion. So yeah, so there you go. Steve Maslick wants to know, a friend has a GEP-RC Signet bind and fly. He's running 4S on it, which is supposedly rated for. He smoked 2 different motors on it, a couple of weeks or so between the motors smoking. Would upping DMAG compensation help prevent that? It couldn't hurt. Upping DMAG compensation, I mean, I hear that it reduces your top end power a little bit if it's higher than it needs to be. But if you're smoking motors, it's certainly worth a try. Unfortunately, the real question is, I mean, he may just have crappy ESCs or crappy motors. Yeah. If the motors aren't coming down hot, but they're just randomly smoking, then most likely the ESC is just not actually doing good with the voltage that's being given. Definitely put a capacitor on the ESC. That would also help. But the thing is, usually you see the ESC get smoked, not the motors. If you're smoking motors consistently, your ESC may be messed up. That's a possibility. Dino FPV in the regular chat says, I bought the Tyro 99 on Banggood sale for $74 just so I can learn and not destroy a $400 quad. Exactly. Dino FPV, the Tyro 99 is any $99 quad makes a lot of compromises. That's just a fact. But if you buy it, you build it, now you've learned to build a little bit, then you crash it and you have to replace a motor, replace an ESC. You just, at least you're not doing that with expensive gear. Felix S. says, what about 18650s on a 3-inch? It depends on the weight, Felix. I think that for a 3-inch, they could handle the discharge, but most people on the 3-inch and smaller quads want the weight to be as low as possible. So although an 18650 might have better energy density, it's going to be heavier, and they're probably not going to like that. Okay, let's do some super chats coming in. So many of them. Let's knock them out. Let's make sure we take care of the people who are literally throwing money at me. Marley Lepo, thanks for 20 Norwegian kroners. What's up to you? Scott Hale, thanks for $2. What's up to you? Is that what we're doing tonight? Mike Oleska, thanks. Alexa, thanks for $10. No question. Yo-Yo Wiz, thanks for $5. What's the deal with Emu Flight? Emu Flight. What is the deal with Emu Flight? In case you don't know, Emu Flight is a project. Basically, Emu Flight is the name of a project where these guys have picked up where Butterflight and Heliospring left off. And they have taken, remember the last thing what was the last thing that happened to Heliospring? They had their proprietary IMUF code, and it was like locked down and closed source. And then when Helio kind of went out of business, they open sourced it so anyone could use it. What the Emu Flight team have done is they have taken the IMUF code that used to run exclusively on the Helio board, and they've put it basically into Butterflight or Betaflight. I'm not sure what they're using as their base. I think it's repositories. Where's your repos? Here, Emu Flight. Yeah. So you can go to this repo right here, or you just search for Emu Flight. I'll paste it in the chat. You can download this. You can flash this to your Betaflight flight controller, and you can try it out. I have not tried it out yet. I'm actually working on doing I'm trying to get the scheduling finished to do an interview with these guys and talk to them about like what is Emu Flight, what does the IMUF do differently from Betaflight? How, what's the point? But if you always wanted to try Heliospring, but you didn't want to buy it or couldn't buy a Helio flight controller, you can basically try out what used to be Heliospring here by downloading your target from the Emu Flight. There you go. That's what Emu Flight is. Bad Habit RC, what do you think about FPVcrate.com? Is it worth it? Thank you for $2, Bad Habit. FPVcrate.com is that the one? Isn't that Get FPV's one? Yeah. So here's the deal. It's another subscription box. So first of all, you got to ask yourself, do I want to buy a subscription box? Because whenever you buy a subscription box, it's a kind of a crapshoot whether you get stuff you like or stuff you don't like. You don't get to pick. That's the whole point of the subscription box. So I see people buying subscription boxes and going, this month was terrible. I didn't like anything I got. It's like, well, I mean, you kind of take that chance. Some of it, you're not going to like everything that's in the box. But This one is powered. The other thing that the subscription boxes struggle with, and I'm talking specifically about mostly quad box, but also drone drop, is just the logistics of sourcing product, getting the boxes shipped on time, and people also complain about shipping. Now, the interesting thing about the FPV crate is they actually assemble their boxes in Asia. Get FPV has an Asian, I don't know, warehouse, whatever. And they assemble the boxes in Asia so they can ship anywhere in the world without, normally on these subscription boxes, if you ship to Europe, you got to pay like $25 shipping and it's just not worth it. So if you are outside of America and you have always wanted an FPV subscription box, FPV Crate is definitely worth a look. As far as the stuff that's in it, I don't know. I'm sure there's openings on, I mean, at least one has gone out. I'm sure there's openings on YouTube if you want to see what's been in it. I know that I can see that Get FPV is really trying to make a big splash. That being said, it is $50 a month, which I think is the most expensive one. So there is that. Okay. So that's FPV Crate. Thank you for asking that about that bad habit. By the way, this was not just a random plug for FPV Crate. That was in response to a super chat. So take it easy. Rotorman Dan, thank you for $20. Big donation. Has anybody tried using larger capacity 3S with higher pitch 7-inch props on their long range cruiser? Dan, I don't know. I don't do a lot with 7-inch long range stuff, but everybody, the movement, especially in 6 and 7-inch, has been towards higher voltage, lower KV, not the other way. So I think that no, I don't think many people are using, like, would you rather have like a 3S 2500 or a 6S 1900? Most people I think would do better and probably get longer flight time on the 6S. It's just my guess. Kevin Knight Photography, thank you for $2. Solely, can't decide 3 or 5-inch. Thank you for $2 Australian. You just got to answer the question of what you want. 3-inch is going to be a little cheaper for sure. The batteries are definitely cheaper, but 3 inches, and it's going to do less damage when you crash. You don't have to like worry about smashing a window with a 3-inch, not as much. 5-inch is a little more dangerous, but obviously more power, a little more expensive. The good news is that you can't really fly a 3-inch or a 5-inch indoors. Most people aren't going to do well, especially a beginner. So you just got to decide basically where you're at in terms of risk and cost. Sean Hales wants to know if he can talk about my smart audio issue. Sure, but now I've answered your question and I'm moving on. So throw it up there. I'll do my best to help. ONFJ, we're almost done with the super chats, only 2 more. ONFJ, thanks for $10, big donation. What causes the smoke stopper to light up and the FC goes into beeping when I connect the VTX to my flight controller? So let's talk about smoke stoppers. Smoke stoppers, what causes a smoke stopper to light up? You think the answer is that my quad is broken, but hang on, back up. Let's go more fundamental. What causes a smoke stopper to light up is that current is flowing. Now, when current flows through the bulb, it lights up. Now, what could cause current to flow? One of the things that could cause that is a short circuit. And that's what the smoke stopper protects you from when it protects you from smoking your flight controller. But what else could cause current to flow? Well, if you plug in the smoke stopper and you arm the quad and you raise the throttle, current's flowing because the motors are spinning. And the smoke stopper will light up and the flight controller will beep low voltage, and you know, that's normal. So some people say, I've got this smoke stopper, I arm my quad, whenever I raise the throttle, the smoke stopper lights up. Is my quad broken? No, it's just you're pulling current through it because the motors are spinning. So what you're saying, who am I talking to? I got more super chats. ONFJ. What you're saying is that when you plug in your VTX, the smoke stopper lights. There's 2 possibilities here. One is that the VTX has a short circuit in it, and when you plug it in, it causes the smoke stopper to light up to protect you. The other is that the VTX is pulling just enough current to get the total current pulled through the bulb over the threshold where the bulb lights. I'm going to bet it's the second one, but don't... You could test the VTX and see if there's a short circuit on its power pads, for example. You especially see this if the wattage of your smoke stopper is not high enough. If you use a low wattage bulb, then just the 1 or 2 amps pulled by the quad at idle could be enough to light it, and that may be what's going on here. Cheesehead FPV, why is my RSSI going backwards on my OSD? But my RSSI channel is going the right direction. Cheesehead, there is an RSSI underscore inversion. I spilled some juice on me. There's an RSSI underscore inversion parameter in the Betaflight command line. And if that option is enabled, then that will cause your RSSI to read backwards. So go to the command line, type get RSSI, and look for the RSSI invert option and make sure it's turned off. PT Custom wants to know, do you think the Horizon Hobby Scimitar is a good buy at $199? I think you're talking about the 5-inch. I got to fly, actually, when I was at Horizon Hobby for Quad Camp. I got to fly the Scimitar 5-inch. This was before it was released. We actually made a Rotor Ride episode about it, actually. That was 2 quads, 1 transmitter. Stingy tried to power loop 2 quads at the same time using the same transmitter. It didn't go well. Now, the 5-inch is $329, so I think you must be talking about something else. Scimitar LRX. Which one is that? Bind and Fly basic. Is that a... Ooh, look at that guy. Here's the deal. I haven't flown this one, but in general, Horizon Hobby makes good product. And if you're looking at a Horizon Hobby Bind and Fly, chances are that's because you're a certain type of customer. You've already got a Spectrum radio. You don't want to fuss around with, beta flighting and nonsense. You just want to have the whole Horizon Hobby Bind and Fly experience. If you are a Horizon Hobby customer and you want to have that experience, the Scimitar ones are not bad. Horizon Hobby doesn't make bad products. There are things you could criticize about Horizon Hobby products. Could you build a better quad yourself for cheaper? Well, maybe, but you don't want to build a quad. That's why you're buying a Bind and Fly. Could you buy a Chinese Betaflight Bind and Fly? You could, but it would be a piece of junk compared. The Horizon Hobby one, when, you're a Horizon Hobby customer because there are things about buying cheap Chinese Bind and Flies that annoy you, and therefore, there's nothing wrong with it. The flip side is there are people who are not Horizon Hobby customers who would rather buy the cheap Chinese Bind and Fly and pay less money and have it break in 6 weeks and then have to... Anyway, it's just what kind of experience you're going for. Let's see here. What motors would I recommend for a 3-inch build? Asks Joe Graves. Honestly, Joe, I've been trying to sort of get my head around 3 inches, 2 inches. I don't have a specific motor recommendation for a 3-inch build. I just don't feel like I have enough grasp on the 3-inch motor market to make a recommendation there. Part of being a smart guy is knowing when you don't know the answer and not just trying to make something up. So that's what I'm going to do here. Maybe the chat can help you out or with a recommendation for a motor for a 3-inch build. What's the hot 3-inch motor right now? Ooh, I got some picture here from Chamer about the FPV Crate first box. He says the FPV Crate first box came with a QAV-R2 frame. This is the second generation of the QAV-R frame. Oh, it's very nice. Very nice. Not too shabby. So here's why I think the FPV Crate has potential to be great. How do I put this? Get FPV is a really, really successful company with a deep inventory and a lot of warehouse. So, for example, when Quadbox wants to put a product in Quadbox goes and sort of asks and begs and cajoles manufacturers. They're like, you got any new products that you want to promote? You got anything on clearance that you can give us at a cheap price? They just have to go around scrounge and beg, which is why Bach Grinder is the perfect guy to run Quadbox. He's excellent at that. That's a skill of his. Get FPV on the flip side, like, why did they put the QAV-R2 in their subscription box? Because it's a new frame and they just want to promote it. See, Get FPV is both sides of the subscription box equation. They are both the manufacturer of the product that they want to promote, or they've got a surplus of something in the warehouse and they just want to get rid of it, and they like put it in the box. Sorry guys, if you didn't know, that's what subscription boxes are some of the time. This is what they are. So I think Get FPV has potential to have a really good subscription box because they just have access to so much inventory and they have the desire to promote their own products that they'll then stick in the box. Hello, Quadbot. Let's see. JV Corsino wants to know. Thanks for answering my question about. No, hang on. Would you recommend 4S or 6S for long range? You could pull it off with either one. I think that for a quad, I think you're going to get better results on 6S low KV than 4S. That's just my hunch. That just seems to be where most pilots are going today. If you look at fixed wing, there are some like longer range fixed wing planes that do like a big massive 3S battery. And it's true that when you have just a single engine, you can get sometimes more efficiency and more power density off of a larger battery, lower voltage battery. But that just doesn't seem to be where quads are going. So I think 6S. People do fly 4S long range, and it does work. I just think if you're going to pick, then you're probably going to pick 6S. Sean Hales, you're the guy. Sean Hales has been having an issue running smart audio from the Nano receiver directly to the Unify Pro. Sean, if you're the guy I'm thinking of, I don't think we're going to get any further on the live stream than we have in email. I'm very sorry to tell you. That kind of sort of deep involved question is very difficult to troubleshoot on a live stream because I got to be like, well, where do the wires go? Then I got to wait 45 seconds for you to get back to me. And meanwhile, the chat's just going blah, 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 blah. But I remember we kind of came to, I think the last thing I said, Sean, was everything you've got looks right to me. I don't know why it doesn't work. You should ask TBS if you're the guy I'm thinking of. So. Let's see here. Broke Mechanic is running 2508 1200 kV 6S on long range. What size props, Broke Mechanic? I'm assuming 7-inch. Tumbleweed 30 says Bach Grinder left Rotor Riot. Thought that meant he left Quad Box too. Nope. That is not correct. I was joking with him about, he was there this weekend, and I was joking with him about it this weekend. I was like, Bach Grinder, people are like, now that Bach Grinder left Rotor Riot, he can be one of our friends again. He's a cool dude. And I'm like, you realize he still runs Quad Box. And he was like, yeah, but Quad Box is a totally different thing. And I'm like, whatever. No, he still works. He still runs Quad Box. That's his job. He's just not a cast member anymore. All right, I got to get more super chats are coming in, including a massive super chat. So let me make sure I get these. Monkey Shine FPV, thank you for $50. I don't know what I did to deserve $50, but thank you. I assume that I'm gonna get another someday in the future. I may ask you a question. Are the PIDs the same for smaller builds? If you would tune a 5-inch build, but if not, what PIDs would you use as a starting point for PIDs on a 4-inch on down? The PIDs are not the same for smaller builds. In general, it has more to do with the thrust to weight ratio of the quad. So in my experience, smaller quads usually have higher P and D gains and sometimes higher I gains. For example, I used to tune very small quads with really high I gain because I felt like a small quad is really loose and the high I gain helped stiffen it up and make it feel like a bigger quad. So the tuning is not the same. What I would suggest, Monkey Shine, is Betaflight Community Presets. Community Presets. This is a wiki page where people post their presets for various things. And Monkey Shine, I'm going to paste this in the chat for you and tag you. Because for $50, I figure I owe it to you. You can check some community presets here, including presets for smaller quads, and try different things. But yeah, in general, I think the P and the D and the I go up on the smaller quads. The P and the D because they tend to have a lower thrust to weight ratio, and the I because I personally want them to stiffen up a little bit. Ooh, this should be good. No, I can't get distracted. I got to clear out the super chats. So Doc Madaki, thank you for $10. I'm losing my effing mind over here. We'll get it. Don't worry. We'll try to get it. Why does the T-Motor F55A Pro ESC not work with Mr. Steele's motors, but works perfectly with the JB1750s? I'm just going to soak that one in for a minute. So Doc, I'll tell you what. I will not name names because I don't want to get somebody in trouble. But I was talking to a pilot the other day, and he said Mr. Steele's motors work great with KISS ESCs, but when you try and use Mr. Steele's motors with the BL Heli ESC, you get crazy desyncs. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. It sounds like the same thing you're saying, so you're not alone. I can't. What did he tell me he had to do to fix it? Can you try changing the timing in the DMAG? That's what I would say. Try changing DMAG to high, and maybe try changing the timing to high or low. Those are some things I would try. I can't. What did he say? Let me hit him up. I can't show you who it was though. Hang on. I'm gonna hit this guy up and see if he answers me in time. All right. I hit him up. We'll see if the answer comes back. So, Doc Modiki, thank you for $10. PT Custom, thanks for $10. Solely, thanks for $2 Australian. 3-inch driblet is what he's going with. He decided on the 3-inch. Ronnie Stepanik, thanks for $5. JTFPV, any thoughts on the new Xing e-motors? Thank you for $2. Xing e-motor. I haven't seen that one yet. The Xing motors in general are really freaking good. E20. What's the E motors? What do they do? Are they just budget motors? $13, $14 for a 2207. So I'm guessing they're budget motors. Oh, they don't have the round bell. Dead to me. I don't want it. It doesn't have the round bell. Just throw it in the trash. No, I'm joking. So the Xing motors are really well built. Just great motors all around, but they can be a little bit pricier than some people would prefer. $22, $25. Looks like the E motors are cheaper ones. I don't have any personal experience with them, but based on Xing's reputation, I would give them a try. They have a good reputation. What are the X9D MC's Creations? Thank you for 5 eyes. What is it? X9D V2? X9D V2. What is that? I don't see any hits for the X9D plus V2. I do see a couple of YouTube channels talking about it, but I don't know anything about it. The X9D, I would be great if they would update the X9D. I've been a little disappointed when I thought maybe that FreeSky was going to just nix the X9D entirely. Sadly, that probably no, I can't find any references to that. Sorry. Albert Kim points out that the Xing E has a steel shaft, so it's a little heavier than the standard Xing. That's okay. I don't mind that. That's all right. I don't mind that. When will split cameras take over? Sir Boot 32. Never. Never. There will never be a split camera that completely replaces like a GoPro, at least for pro pilots. I mean, there's no other camera, period, that produces content as good as a GoPro. DJI, whatever action camera tries to come close, but everything else is just inferior to a GoPro. I mean, people record television shows on GoPros. You look at the Seinfeld show, comedians in cars getting coffee. They just got GoPros stuck all over the car. You know, GoPro. Tarsier is very good. MC's Creations, you're right. The Tarsier is very good, but it still doesn't produce. I mean, for the average pilot, maybe the Tarsier is good enough. It is quite good. And I would honestly say the Tarsier is probably the best of the split style cameras in producing great, good-looking, usable results while not sucking for FPV. The Tarsier from Caddx is a great choice, but I wouldn't replace a GoPro with it. Here's the problem. Even if you're okay with the image quality, those split-style cameras tend to have a lot of vibration because of the way they're mounted. You can get crazy jello and not be able to fix it. And you don't notice it when you've got FPV camera because it's not high def, but as soon as it goes high def, then you start seeing it. It's a little crazy. That's exactly the right point. Sorry for slurping into the mic, you guys. This is Joshua Bardwell ASMR. There you go. Turn up your volume. Yeah, so you can't, license to drive says I can't put a GoPro on a 120-gram quad. Exactly. So, like, if your target is 3-inch or lower, then those are great cameras. They're not really replacing a GoPro. They're just filling a niche that GoPro can't fill, though. Pat Nolan, I have no comments about anything, any new products that DJI may be bringing to market anytime soon. I have no comments about those. Bad Habit RC says, "Are you not interested in the toothpick class?" Thanks for $2, Bad Habit. Actually, I was just talking to Bob Ruge the other day about what parts he would recommend for a toothpick. I currently have the Full Speed Toothpick Pro, which this thing is, I mean, I was talking about it with, who was I talking to? Wow, I'm just blanking. I was talking about it with my friend Jeff. This is the Full Speed Toothpick Pro. It's 2.5-inch props, and it runs on a 4-cell battery, and its all-up weight is way more than a legit kebab toothpick should be. So I don't know. I mean, it's actually a fun quad to fly. I really enjoyed flying it. I'm not sure I would really call it a toothpick per se. I accepted it for review from Full Speed, thinking, oh, I should review a toothpick. But after I've seen it, I'm like, well, is it really a toothpick? So I reached out to Bob Ruge and I said, hey, will you send me a parts list for a toothpick so I can actually try and buy one? So, I mean, build one, not buy one. Eric Tunk says, going to build a 3-inch Gecko. What do you recommend for flight controller, ESC, and motor? Well, Eric, I was just saying I don't really feel super confident recommending 3-inch motors. For a 20mm flight controller and ESC, I think the Diatone one is pretty solid on 3S and 4S. Somebody was telling me that the Speedix ESC is the most bulletproof 20mm ESC he's ever seen. He's never popped one. So maybe the Speedix ESC would be a direction to go. So that's something to think about. Let's see. Offset your camera to the right side. No, I'm not moving my camera. Here's why. When I record videos for my channel, hello, I'm Joshua Bardwell. You're going to learn something today. See, this is the angle. What you're seeing is I'm looking over at the monitor here. I'm looking over at the monitor there, right? And you're like, move your camera. It doesn't matter where I put the camera. It's not going to be in the right place. I got 3 monitors. The mic is in the center. It's just the camera is a little off center, and there's a good reason for that. So the camera is not moving. Definitely. OCD FPV on the Discord wants to know, how susceptible is the Tramp to damage without the antenna attached? OCD FPV, when Tony Cake was at my house, we were playing with the Immersion RC RF power meter. This was before it released. He was showing it to me. And we unplugged it from a VTX that was on. And I said, well, we shouldn't do that. And he was like, it doesn't matter. Immersion RC says that they can be left on for... Oh, I'm not going to name a number because it'll be wrong and then you'll be mad at me. But Immersion RC's official position is that the Tramp is fine without an antenna. It will not take damage for a significant amount of time. So if you just had it off for a second, you're fine. You're just fine. Oh, MBFPV has something for us, and I missed this. Hang on. He says, look at these. Thank you for reposting it, MBFPV. Look at these sparks, he says. Okay. What's going on here? Where's the sparks, dude? Show me the sparks. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. So, here's what's going on. You have a broken wire. It's broken inside. The wire is broken inside the sheathing, and it's sparking. So, you got to replace that wire. Anytime you plug something in there, sparks. Just stop. Back up. It's not a mystery. Whatever is sparking, get rid of it. Let's see here. Monkey FPV is getting random quick twitching. Yaw left, roll left, pitch. It's not the flight controller. Is it a bad motor? Monkey, why do you think it's not the flight controller? Why are you sure it's not the flight controller? That's the question. I'll wait for the answer in the Discord. We'll get back to you. Grimy Gravy updated the rapid fire to the latest firmware, and after reinstalling the module, my dog threw up. Oh, stop. My dog threw up in the dining room. This never happened before. See, I was taking your question seriously. Monkey says that he's tried 3 different flight controllers and is getting twitching. Well, I agree. It's probably not the flight controller. I would try replacing the ESC at that point. Here's my thing. When your quadcopter is twitching, if it twitches to the diagonal, then probably it's a motor or ESC. If it twitches to the left, right, front, back, then probably it's the flight controller. If you think about it, would a bad motor ever cause the quad to pitch forward? No. A bad motor would cause the quad to pitch to the front left or the front right, whichever motor is bad. If your quad is going tick, 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 that's the flight controller. Yaw axis is not so easy. Yaw axis, you can get, if you have yaw and you drop an arm, that's a motor. But flat yaw is usually the flight controller. That's a little harder to read, though. Oh, let's see here. Thank you. The chat has figured out that how to get access. The chat is now spontaneously answering the question of how to get into my Discord. Thank you. He's saving me the trouble there. Hate Eternal Maver says, the SMA connectors on my goggles sometimes get hot with the antennas on. Is that normal? Yes. I've found that as well. Here's what I think is happening. So first of all, the goggle is not a video transmitter. It's a video receiver. So this issue where you take off the antenna and the VTX burns out, that doesn't happen with goggles. Goggles, you can take the antenna off a receiver. It's no big deal. The reason that your SMAs on your goggle gets hot, I think, is just that, especially if you're running rapid fire, it gets really hot because it's consuming power. And since the SMA connector is connected to the ground plane, that's where the heat ends up getting soaked up and they get hot. It's totally normal. Don't worry about it. Tom Sherwood, what would cause my Kakute F7 to yaw spin to the moon on Betaflight 4.0? Tom, I was involved in the testing of the Kakute F7 when Holybro first started thinking about putting the gyro on a soft mount. And one of the boards they sent me, the foam that they used was this really soft open cell foam. And the gyro was way too floppy on the foam. And if you just jerked the yaw stick, the quad would do a yaw spin. Because the gyro would start going bub, 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 and then it would just get out of control. If you have a Kakute and you're having yaw spin to the moon, Betaflight has things to prevent yaw. Betaflight used to have a bug where it would yaw spin to the moon, and that bug has been they've figured out ways to sort of mitigate that. I would ask what causes the yaw spin, and I would be looking at the mounting of the soft mounted gyro to make sure it's secure and not like starting to come disconnected. Brandon, let's see. Brandon, have I missed a super chat? I don't think I have. Let me make sure. No, okay. Brandon Heusman, thank you for $10 in the super chat. Gonna build a Drib 3-inch. What flight controller ESC would you use? Well, I won't complain if you say yours. Well, I wouldn't say mine. My flight controller and ESC are 36 millimeter. The Driblet it's got to be 20 millimeter, right? It's got to be a 20 millimeter, doesn't it? I mean, surely. It's not a 36 millimeter. Yeah, 20 by 20. So you're going to want a 20 by 20 stack. At that point, you have various options. You might just ask, what does Drew use? Right? And copy his build. Here's the thing. Drew has a build video for the Driblet. If you aren't really sure what to pick, you can usually not go wrong by following in the footsteps of someone who went before you. So I would try... Let's see if I can find his build video. Driblet build by Ladrib and Xhover. I would probably just follow them. So here's... No. So here is the Driblet build. And you can just look at the parts list. No? Surely they have a parts list, right? Hello? It's 11 minutes long. I'm not sure you can do a whole quadcopter build in 11 minutes, but anyway, just follow along. Oh, it's just a frame assembly. Dagnabbit. What about this one? This is Drew's build. Hang on. Parts list. Come on. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So if you're building a driblet and you don't know what to get, boom, in the chat. That's what I would suggest. Just follow Drew's build. X90 Plus SE 2019 edition. Thank you, Bobcat FPV. Suggests I go to. Here we go. There's multi-rotor guide. What is it? It's just an updated. I mean, is it just an updated Tyrannus? Okay. Yeah, so it's like the X9 Lite, but it's a Tyrannus. It's got the scroll wheel. That's nice. It's got the access protocol, and you can't do crossfire with it anymore. Well, I hate it. I mean, I'm so disappointed that they show us the back. Show us the back. Oh, wait a minute. Does it really have a JR? Okay, I take it back. I love it. I love it forever. Okay. I mean, it's still not going to do the D8 protocol. So FreeSky, I don't know if you got the word about this, but I got an email. I talked to FreeSky. I have been saying I think they're going to do a D8 mode via firmware update. In case you need to be caught up, the new radios that do the access protocol, like the X9 Lite and the X Lite Pro, they can be firmware updated to do the D16 protocol, but they cannot and will not be firmware updated to do the D8 protocol. FreeSky has said if you want D8 support, they will be releasing an external module to do it. That's too bad. But how important is D8? I don't know. I just got a bind and fly the other day that has a D8 receiver in it. I'm not sure I would want to give it up. Beastmaster 101, you're trying to get me to answer a question about I have a full-speed toothpick, the RX is bound, but I see no inputs in Betaflight. That's not the kind of thing it's going to be very easy to troubleshoot in a live stream because it's going to require a lot of back and forth. But I also have a full-speed toothpick, Beastmaster 101, so if you will email me or message me on Facebook, we can try and compare your config to mine, and we'll see why yours isn't working. So... Copernicus, thanks for $2. Lewis script partially works. PIDs and VTX only. Copernicus, I've heard of this before. I don't know what the fix is, though. Some people have suggested that it's a Betaflight issue. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I haven't experienced it, so I can't troubleshoot it. See the problem? Make sure you're on the latest version of the Lewis script, and make sure you're on the latest. You can try going down to a previous version of Betaflight. The issue you're running into is that only some of the screens on your Lewis script showed information. Other than that, I can't really tell you much more. Trinity Farr, thanks for $2. How do you feel about the Aris X140M? Actually, the full question is, are you single? And how do you feel about the Aris X140M? It feels to me like something else is going on here. And I don't mean somebody's trying to pick me up. I mean, no one tries to pick me up. So, Trinity, do you work for Aris? And you're just trying to get a plug? And you're hoping to butter me up by asking me if I'm single? Just saying. I don't know how. I don't know anything about the Aris X140M. But thank you for your $2 donation. Let's see. Sadak Madaki with the whose steel motors don't work on a BL Heli ESC. Thank you for another $10. Let me check back. Let me check back and see if this person has. Oh, he has responded, or she. Hang on. Okay, I'm still trying to get a straight answer, Sadak. Thank you, Monkey FPV. Thanks for $4.20. I wonder why you left that specific amount of money. In Ecuador, Super Chat is available starting today. Congratulations, Monkey FPV. All right, back to the regular chat. Back to the regular chat. Are those Orca goggles worth the money? Cement Kid says, are the Orca goggles worth the money? People always ask, is it worth the money to upgrade to such and such? And I'm like, I don't know. How much money do you make? I can never answer the question, is it worth the money? Because, like, for somebody out there, $50 is just like, whatever, I spent $50, I don't care. And for somebody out there, $50 is like, oh my God, I have to work all day for $50. So is it worth it? I can't answer that question. All I can do is tell you about the products and let you kind of try to judge for yourself. I will say that the Orca goggles, I've only seen prototypes. Soon, June, July, not quite yet. Soon, in the next few weeks, supposedly, they're going to start shipping their Kickstarter pre-orders. That will be the first time, you know, they say like the proof is in the pudding. That's actually the wrong saying. The saying, if anytime somebody says the proof is in the pudding, you say the proof of the pudding is in the tasting. Doesn't that make a lot more sense? The proof is in the pudding. What does that mean? Is there some proof in you got some moonshine in there? It's 90 proof. It's in the pudding. What kind of pudding are we even talking about? The proof of the pudding is in the tasting, which means that you talk shit, but you want to find out if something's true? Stick it in my mouth. We've gotten off track. Orca said that they would be shipping their first Kickstarter orders. I think they said late August. I can't remember the exact date, but I'm really sure when I interviewed the guy, he said August. So this is when we find out if they're going to deliver or if they're going to start slipping. The product is a very good product. It has the best looking, largest image of any Fat Shark style goggle that I've ever put on my face. It is big, but also crisp edge to edge and beautiful. Some people might prefer the look of the OLEDs in the HDOs, even though they're smaller. But is it worth the price? I can't answer that question for you. So, Snyder Racing Drone says, don't buy new goggles for a few weeks. You'll thank me later. What does Snyder know that I don't know? Or maybe I do know. What's the field of view of the Orcas? I think it's like 45. You can look that up on their website. I'm not going to do it right this second. You can look that up. I think it's like 45. Okay, here's the answer. Sadak Madaki, who is trying to get his steel motors working with a BL Heli ESC. The unnamed person who I'm talking to, who is Alex Vanover, it says, in order to get steel motors working on BL Heli ESCs, what he had to do was DMAG high, motor timing 27. Sadak Madaki, that's for you, buddy. That's what he says. It's so funny because he was like, yeah, no, steel motors don't work on BL Heli ESCs. They run great on KISS. And I was like, give me a break. An ESC's an ESC. But now you're here with that exact same problem. So try DMAG high and motor timing 27 and see if that works for you. Jeffro of PV says, Fat Shark $1,000 Primo goggles coming. No, you can tell. You can always tell when I know about something versus when I don't, based on whether I say I can't talk about that or whether I say or whether I speculate. If you hear me speculating about something, then then it's just BS speculation. I think I would not be at all surprised to see Fat Shark respond to the Orcas with a high-end goggle. That being said, I don't know anything about that. But I would love to see that happen just because I like competition. I think if Orca releases this great goggle and Fat Shark is like, oh my God, we got to get off our ass here. Fantastic. I like Orca. I like their product. I think it stands on its own. I also think that Fat Shark could use a kick in the ass. And to do something. Fat Shark keeps sort of iteratively refining the same formula. And it's like, just do something different. Do something better. And if Orca stimulates them to do that, that would be amazing. Why did Orca choose a fish name? 3D FPV Prince asks. So people tell me that the orca is the only fish that eats sharks. That's presumably the joke. Let's see here. Broke Mechanic thinks HDOs aren't worth the money. Just depends on who you are and how much money you feel like spending. I had the experience of, I put the Attitude V5s. I had a race at my house a couple weeks ago. I put the Attitude V5s on this guy's face, and he looked at the Eachines because he thought the big field of view was what he wanted, and then I let him look at the Sky Zones. And he was like, "Oh yeah, okay." And then he looked at the Attitudes. And here's the thing: on paper, the Attitudes have worse specs and like they have low resolution and a weird aspect ratio. But the minute he saw the OLED screen on the Attitudes, he was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Really? That's?" He was like, "No, this is the one." You just never know. I need more ice cubes. No, it's true, Dino FPV. My ice cubes don't make it through the chat. Oh well. Can I put the Immersion RC module in the Orca goggles? Yeah, absolutely. Cement Kid, Orca would be just idiots if they didn't design their goggles to work with rapid fire. They've designed their goggles to work with rapid fire. They're actually selling that the Kickstarter bundled with rapid fire is one of the options. So yeah, Orca is making what they claim to be the best goggles available. They would be dumb not to be compatible with the best module available. Alex Vanover says, Sadak Madaki, he says, just get rid of the steel motors and buy the Vanover motors, and then you don't have to worry about desyncs. I didn't say that. He said that. His words, not mine. This is not a Long Island iced tea. This is a Mio squirt. You know, the Mio flavor squirts. A little bit of lemonade. A little bit of orange tangerine. The 3D FPV prints, the Kickstarter has funded many times over. They're going to be delivering products supposedly around the August time frame. Chamber says, how is Orca getting that many rapid fires? They're going to be back ordered forever. No comment. Immersion RC makes a good product, but they do struggle sometimes with fulfillment. It is true. Bluegrass Connection, legalize it. Thanks for $5. His name. Like to get your help on tuning if you wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind, but you haven't put your question in the chat, so I can't help you. I'll be happy to give you whatever help I can. Ion FPV wants to know if I've heard about IGOW and will I join? Well, I don't know what IGOW is. I'm not loving the fact that the second hit is complaints about IGOW in the Better Business Bureau. It doesn't really... What is... I don't know what IGOW is. I don't think we're talking about the same thing. Does it have something to do with DirecTV? No, I don't think we're talking about the same thing. I have not heard of IGOW, so I guess I won't be joining it. 2 Balls 1 Cup says my V5s were faulty and Fat Shark ignored me. 2 Balls 1 Cup. I know for a fact that I've heard that story from people who have submitted help requests through the Fat Shark website. I personally think that the contact form on the Fat Shark website is screwed up somehow, because I have, when I email support, boom, they're just, and it's not just because my name is known. This is, everybody says this. I would say if you needed support from Fat Shark, you need to email support@fatshark.com. Don't go through the website. They just don't ignore support requests. It just doesn't happen. 2 Balls 1 Cup. If you want to reach out to me privately and let me get your information, I will personally forward that to I'm not going to say who it is, a high up person at Fat Shark. In the past, when people have said that Fat Shark didn't answer their questions, he has taken it very seriously, reached out to them personally and taken care of it. So Fat Shark just doesn't ignore. If Fat Shark seems to have ignored your support request, they just didn't get it. So that's not their fault. That's not your fault, but that's their fault. But still, I know they want to make it right. Is Vanover here? Vanover. No one knows that joke, Vanover. No one knows that joke. Now I'm going to get in trouble. Vanover says my mom says hi. So Vanover started coming on the Rotor Riot trips where we were shooting episodes and doing quad camps. And we were all just, kind of ragging on him. Like, yeah, like that's what your mom said. And he got like super embarrassed about it. Like, more like he's just, if somebody's like, yeah, that's what your mom said last night, he'd just be like, fuck you, and move on. Pardon my French. So sorry for swearing, parents. That's what, right? Don't. But he got like super weirded out and embarrassed. So of course we all doubled down like every other time we were referencing his mom. Now he's coming back at me. My mom says hi. That's why he's doing that. The thing is, here's the thing. Like, we're all just like, hey, Vanover, how's your mom doing? His mom actually volunteered at I.O. She's like, I didn't know this. I just figured she was just some lady. But she's super into the whole racing scene. So I get to I.O. and Vanover's like, you want to say hi to my mom? And I'm like, ha, yeah. I said hi to your mom last night. And he's like, no, really, she's here. She's a lovely lady. And I was like, oh, I'm embarrassed. I hope she's listening to the live stream so she can be in on the joke. Of course, now that it's gone out on the live stream, everybody's going to do it to you. You're done for, Vanover. Vanover and I asked Vanover about this, and I think he said yes, so I'm going to announce that we're going to do it. I think it's August 8th is the first release for the first streaming of the first episode of DRL. No, it can't be the 8th. That's a Thursday. What day is it? Is it the 10th? It's a Saturday. I think it's not this Saturday, but next. The very first episode of DRL, where we're going to find out if Mr. Alex Vanover can back up all his smack talk about how he's just going to destroy all the other DRL pilots. It's releasing, I think it's the 10th. Somebody put the date in the chat. And I said to him, hey, dude, you should watch it with me and do a reacts video. Well, he obviously already knows what happened. But I said, you should watch it. We should stream it. We should watch it, and like you should react, and I should ask you questions, and we should just watch it together and talk about it. So we're going to do that. We can't do it the day of. I was like, well, obviously that would be best. He's got a commitment the day of, like the Saturday. So like the Sunday after, we're going to do a little recap. We're going to watch it together. We're going to do some reacts, and we're going to see what happens. Fish FPV says, I heard from a buddy he got his butt handed to him. Anybody who knows has been under pain of death from DRL, because obviously they filmed it a month ago. I won't say, and Alex can't say. Fish FPV thinks he got his butt handed to him. Let me ask you this: which would make you want to watch the DRL stream more? If you knew that Alex destroyed the whole field, or if you knew that he was humiliated? Which would make you want to watch more? I don't know. August 11th. There we go. Thank you, Vanover. So August 11th is Sunday. We stream on the 12th. Oh, I see. It airs on ESPN on the 11th. It streams on the 12th. I don't know. We'll announce it another time. But we're going to do it. Me and Alex are just, because, we have a good vibe, I think. Big Data Pimp says he won. They announced it on Instagram. I don't know if that's true. I can neither confirm nor deny if that's true. Since I'm not going to you're not going to trick me into announcing, like, he won. They announced it on Instagram, and I'd be like, wait, what? No, he didn't. No, you're not going to get me like that. I'm not saying he did or he didn't. Captain Vanover's mom says, is that really your mom, Vanover? Losing is not humiliating, but a humbling opportunity to learn and grow. That's true. That's true. But she's not saying he did or didn't lose. He crashed out, says Mike's Campy. How do you people know about all of these things? I ain't saying nothing. I ain't letting it slip. Anyway, so watch my channel for an announcement of when that's going to be. We'll live stream. I think we're going to live stream it. I mean, you'll have already watched the stream, but you'll get to sort of rewatch, because you don't want to hear us talking over it the first time you watch it. You want to just watch it, but then we'll kind of we'll do the director's, cut, and we'll rewatch it and comment about it, get all the back stuff. Mark Iman says, I bought a pair of Fat Shark V3s online only for them not to arrive. When are the new V5s going to be in stock? Because that's how long I have to beg my... So where did you buy them from, Mark? That sucks, dude. Where did you buy them from that that didn't happen? That happened. Like, that's a bummer. Can you take it up with your credit card or something? I don't know. When are the new 5s going to be in stock? Here's the thing, Mark. The pre-orders are still getting filled. No one can know when they're going to be actually in stock because they're just going to keep taking pre-orders until supply outstrips demand. If you really want them, you just got to put a pre-order in and wait for it, or just wait. Drone Mesh has some videos about the toothpick, says Cement Kid, the full-speed toothpick. I'm sure the whole receiver problem is going to be really easy to fix. I just don't think a live stream is the right place to troubleshoot it. How we doing, Discord? Back to the Discord. Make sure I'm not missing any important questions from my patrons. Hey, Enrique F87 Vanover. Enrique wants to know what battery you were using on the release video on the new motors. If Vanover's still listening, Enrique wants to know that. Slider Z33. I don't know anything about the Impulse RC Apex frame. The best flying Impulse frame to date. Really? Let's see here. Impulse RC Apex. Can I get a picture? There's a couple of like, well, let's just watch a video then. Nobody has pictures anymore. Let's see. Oh, you can't see it. It's blurred out. Okay. What is it? I don't... But this isn't... It's flight footage. All right, show me the footage. Okay, I gotta hear the motors. You can't judge your frame if I can't hear the motors. This music is gonna get me copyright striked. But oh, it flies so good. What could you tell? I mean, here's the thing. I'm such a hater. I apologize for being a hater, but like people say it's the best flying frame ever. This guy could be flying a Martian. This is just a good pilot doing freestyle. This says nothing about the quality of the frame. It's so silly that people hype frames with flight videos. What could you tell about the quad's handling from this video? This is just a pilot doing some freestyle tricks. They're good tricks, and I'm sure it's a good frame. But this is not how you, like... This is just hype. Is this a dude flying a quad? Okay, yeah, best frame ever. I'm sorry. Now I'm going to get a letter from Immersion RC like, hey, dude, sorry, why do you hate our frame? I don't. Immersion RC is awesome. They make great frames. That's not my point. My point is that people get hyped over stupid stuff. They get hyped over stupid stuff. Like, how are you going to tell it's a good frame from some dude? He could be flying anything. I'm not suggesting that he's not flying the Apex. I'm just saying you don't know anything about how it handles or how it flies or how it feels or how it tunes from this one video of a dude flying over some hip-hop where you can't even freaking hear the motors to know if it's smooth. James Stevens wants to know, what size frame do you think flies the best in 5-inch class? You know, there was a... originally 5 inches were like 250, 220 millimeters. They shrunk, got as small as possible, down around 190, I think is where they stopped. And then it kind of started getting up again. I've been really impressed with the Marmot. The Marmot is a little bit big. It's kind of a Marmot fits 5.5-inch props. And I've been really impressed with how it sort of splits the difference between the agility of a 5-inch and the stability of a 6-inch. A bigger frame with smaller props is actually a really interesting combo, and I kind of like it. So I actually think that's a really, depending on the style, like if you're going to fly more like Mr. Steel, where you have a kind of a really erratic style where you're constantly moving, you might prefer more agility of like a 220 size or whatever, 190, 200. But I actually think for general purpose freestyle flying, just a little bit bigger is actually kind of nice. Let's see here. I mean, you show me a picture of the frame and I'll like be like, oh, that's interesting. Anyway. Cement Kid, I'm building based on your freestyle build. Can I? Yeah, you could copy my perfect freestyle build. I still love basically everything about it. But I built it on the Chameleon TI, and today I would build it on the Marmot, the standard Marmot, not the space grade one. That's what I would use. I think 5.5-inch props actually need a little more attention than they're getting. I ran out of props and I had some 55s, and I flew the 55s on my Marmot and was actually kind of impressed with them. Yeah. You know that moment where you punch out and you're gonna drop in and hit a gap or go under a tree, and you're kind of scared because you're coming in really hot, and you're not sure you're going to be able to hit the motors in time, and you're not sure, and so maybe you chicken out, you pitch back a little bit, and then your move doesn't look awesome because you lose all your speed, or you dive in hot and then you're just like into the ground because you didn't get on the throttle in time. With the 5.5-inch props, there was so much control down low. I just wasn't scared at all of those big drops. But like normally if you go to 6-inch, then you lose a lot of agility. And it was kind of this best of both worlds scenario. I was really, really loving them. If you can fit 5.5-inch props on your quad, they're definitely worth a try. Nads FPV in the Discord says, I need a new flight controller. It's between Radix and Revolt OSD. I had Flight 1 and Betaflight before. I like them both. What do you suggest? I'm going to piss somebody off with this answer no matter what I do. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, do you like Coke or do you like Dr. Pepper? Which do you want to drink? Which is best? I don't know. What do you feel like drinking? They're both, Radix is a great piece of hardware. Revolt Flight 1 is great in their own ways. It's just a question of whether you want to fly Betaflight or whether you want to fly Flight 1. Just pick. You pick. I do think the Radix is better hardware than the Revolt. The Revolt is built by, I'm 99% sure it's built by Airbot, and they just kind of crank them out. And they have a great return policy, exchange policy. If you smoke your Revolt, they just send you a new one. But the Radix, like Brain FPV just lovingly kisses everyone before they put it in the envelope. They tuck them into bed. They're a much smaller operation, and they basically like hand check every single Radix and hand flash them before they ship them. So I will say that I think the Radix is better hardware than the Revolt. It's more reliable hardware. But as far as features go, you just gotta pick. No, Chamber, I'm not pissing anybody off. Who am I pissing off? Flight 1? No, that's a fact. I'm sorry, that's just a fact. If Flight 1 is mad about that, I mean, look, here's the thing. I can talk. Airbot makes my flight controller. I know how it is. Okay, I know how it is. Like, we're on me. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody but myself here. The fact is, Airbot makes okay products. Most of the time, they're pretty good. But, I mean, like, literally, Brain FPV hand tests and hand flashes every Brain FPV before they ship it. Now, you can't do that at the scale of something like Flight 1's. I say that, but then they're out of stock forever. So, I'm going to piss somebody off. All I'm saying is that Brain FPV is a smaller operation. Moving on. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Pat Regan, the HQ 5.5 by 3x3, that was the one I flew. I was really impressed. Actually, I should make a video about that. I'll talk about it in the live stream for now. The 5.5 by 3x3 were really good. You hear a 3-inch pitch, and you're like, that's really low pitch. But the 5.5 makes up for a lot of the low pitch. It was a really nice combination of low end control and torque without sacrificing too much in terms of responsiveness. Very, very good prop. Let's see here. What's the worst flight controller? Asks Blaz Gallegos. The worst flight controller, I know the answer, and I'm not going to piss anybody off. The worst flight controller that you could possibly use is the SP Racing F3 clone that comes in the Wizard X220. You can get a replacement one of those for $15. It is a piece of trash. You shouldn't buy it. It dies randomly for no reason. Like, I'm not even talking about crashing it. It just dies. Every time you plug it in, you flip a coin, and then like you roll a die, and then every 20th time it just dies. And then you buy a replacement, it does the same thing. Yep. The SP Racing F3 clone that comes in the Wizard is just garbage. Sunny FPV, if your space grade Marmot breaks, the warranty will convert it over to traditional carbon. There's no problem. Armatan has gone above and beyond, though. This is really cool what they've done. They said the space grade carbon has had some QC issues. We're not going to offer it anymore, but we will continue to stock it so that anybody who did buy it and who still wants it will be able to get it under warranty. So they're continuing to honor the warranty on a product that they know didn't live up to their own standards, because that's how dedicated they are to the customer. But I would suggest, if you are a hard freestyle flyer, that you, as soon as you break it, you just switch to the standard. That's what would be my suggestion. What is ESC Tele on UART 6? Asks Really FPV. Really FPV? I don't know. I'm going to need more info about your flight controller. How's the super chats coming? Is the Marmot, thank you for $5, PS Guardian, is the Marmot TI nose compatible with a Chameleon TI? No, I don't think they're compatible. The Marmot is sized for a mini cam. The Chameleon is sized for a full-size cam. The noses are not compatible. Could a Marmot fly well on 5S 2200K? 5S 2200 is a big freaking battery. I mean, for a 6-inch where you're trying to build like a low-speed cruiser instead of like a freestyle Acro Madness, 5S 2200 is still a big freaking battery, though. It depends on what you're looking for. That's a big battery, though. Bought the Hawk 5. Thanks for the suggestion. Thank you for $5. Place it here. You're not going to be disappointed with the Hawk 5. It's a very good one. Bluegrass Connection, still looking for your more info about help on tuning, if you wouldn't mind. If you tell me the details, or you can always just contact me privately. Jason Peters wants to know, how do you like the Runcam TX200U Micro 25-200 milliwatt VTX backpack? In the micro size, there's only so many options you can get. The Runcam TX200, I don't think I've tried that. I couldn't say. I haven't tried that one, so I couldn't say. Is that the one with or without smart audio? Because if it doesn't have smart audio, it's dead to me. The Runcam TX200U. What has it got? I think it does have smart audio. Okay, then it's fine. For $15, you can't go too far wrong. All right. No. Yeah, so it's $15. It goes on the back of your micro camera. I mean, obviously, you got this crappy little antenna. It's not going to be great for a full-size quad. But if you've got the kind of quad where you just need every little bit of space, sure, why not? Unless somebody in the chat says that it's got some defect that I don't know about. Rain FPV, will the Hype Train Blaster program stop at a certain point in time? Yeah, no, ever since the Hype Train Blaster program was announced, Rain FPV, there was a stop date. I think it was originally October 2019, then they extended it, but the policy is on the website and has been from day one. The thing is, you can't buy a motor and then get replacements for the rest of your life. You would just go out of business. You'd lose all your money. Oh, Rotor-Ride already does that. Ouch. There I go, pissing people off again. No, but when they released the Blaster program, they said, you buy the motor, you get replacements, here are the terms, and there was a cutoff date. So, yeah. Big Data Pimp sent me the link to the supposed Instagram thing about Vanover supposedly winning the DRL race, which I can neither confirm nor deny. Because I know the answer, but I can't let it slip. You're not tricking me into slipping the answer about whether Vanover won. The real winner? No, I'm not going to say it. Sadak Modiki, thank you for $2. It worked! Alex Vanover, your suggestion for how to get the steel motors working with a BLL ESC worked. 27-degree timing, DMAG high. We fixed it. I owe Alex Vanover $10 for your super chats. Have I pre-ordered to review the TBS Fusion Fat Shark module when it comes out? Dave Hernandez. Dave, I don't have any particular pull at TBS, so I can't. Hey, can I review? Will you send me one for review as soon as it comes out? No, that's not going to go anywhere. Trappy doesn't like me. Again. So I'm looking. You can see these purple links here. As soon as I see a TBS Fusion available for purchase, I'm going to get my order in. Because obviously I want to test it and review it. However, currently there are no US-based stores with a pre-order up. I definitely want to test it. I'm going to test it with the Arum antenna and find out if that's the secret. No, see, there's just no TBS Fusion. Just not available. So when it's available, I will test it. Other than that, just got to wait. Let's see here. Are there any HD video transmitters that are worth the money? Is the technology there yet? Asks Sharp Pizza FPV. Sharp Pizza, the HD video transmitter that comes to my mind when you say that is the R2 Tech Next G1. And I can say, in my experience, that you should not buy that one yet today. I have had some... I'm hesitant on how much I want to say because, like, they sent it to me and they said, hey, will you give us some feedback on it? And I did, and I haven't released a review on it because they're like, oh, well, don't worry, we'll make it better. And I don't want to just release a review on it saying, don't buy it, if they're going to go and make it better. But I will say I didn't have a good experience, let's just leave it at that, with the R2 Tech Next G1. When it was working, it looked good, but then sometimes it didn't work, and I felt like I couldn't rely on it and count on it. And also, like, one of them that they sent me just stopped working for no reason randomly. So, not yet. Not yet, Sharp Pizza FPV. But according to FCC filings and patent things, some people think that DJI's got something in their pocket. And if DJI did have something in their pocket, I mean, if anybody could do it, I've always said it would be them. MBFPV in the Discord is talking about the motor screws touching the windings. And or Tumbleweed in the Discord says, I thought the motors were already grounded to the frame through the screws. And it's true, they are. The issue is that the motor windings should not be grounded to the frame. And when the motor screw is too long, then the screw touches the winding, and that's where you get the connectivity. Does covering the receiver antenna wires hurt the signal strength? Ken Velasky, putting the receiver antenna wires up against something like made of plastic, like a zip tie, doesn't have a major effect. Putting them next to something conductive, like the carbon fiber arm, does have a major effect. Can the Attitude V5 fit onto a child's head? Patience. I'm not sure about that. It depends on how young the child is. For kids, I think they usually do better with box goggles because their eyes are so close together. They don't fit inside like an Attitude or a Fat Shark style goggle. You'd have to have a relatively, the IPD is really what will determine it, and you need to have a relatively adult-sized head to fit into it like a Fat Shark goggles IPD. Pardon me. UAV Tech in the house. Hello, UAV Tech. Welcome to the stream. Can you wire 5-volt leads to one 5-volt tab on a flight controller? Asks Mark Roper. Yes, you can, Mark. The 5-volt pads don't care how much stuff you're running off of it. They care how many amps you're pulling, but they don't care how many wires are coming off of them. You can put all your 5-volt stuff to a single pad as long as you don't pull too much current. The only difference is that when you have to, replace something, it's going to be annoying having to desolder it all. But you can do it. I wish Fat Shark had a wider IPD range. You, not the only one out there. Thanks for $5, Sunny FPV. Thanks for $5, PS Guardian. Camera size aside, I was meaning at the frame side. Could the spacer plate in the Chameleon be omitted to fit the new TI nose? Oh, I see. Because Armatan just released an updated nose for the Chameleon TI. I don't know the answer to that, PS Guardian. I don't know if they're compatible or not. My guess would be that the updated nose for the Chameleon would be compatible. You should just ask Armatan, though. They're the ones who'll know. UAV tech, better late than never. No big deal, dude. There weren't any tuning questions anyway. Tom Sherwood says, do you think the IMU gyro being more sensitive can cause out-of-control rolls and yaw spins if you're running higher rates? Tom, that's possible. The issue is not so much that the gyro is more sensitive. The sensitivity, I think, causes like hot motors or maybe twitching. The yaw spin to the moon from fast movements is a different issue. And I don't think it may be unique to the IMU gyros, but it's not related to their sensitivity, I don't think. What does CMS mean if it pops up on OSD? Asks Underhog. Underhog, let's find the answer to that together. Betaflight arming status codes. Let's look, and here is the page we're looking for, arming sequence and safety. And we're going to find Control F, CMS. CMS config menu is active over OSD or other display. Now, here's the thing. If you had the OSD open, you would know. So your flight controller thinks you've got like an external OLED screen? I don't know. What else could cause the CMS one? I don't know the answer to that. If it's not the OSD, what is it? Oh, you know what it could be? Are you using the, instead of the Lewis script, the CMS over Crossfire option? That would do it. That's my best guess. Slider Z33 FPV says, what are your thoughts on the SpeedX LS40 Slim? I have not tested the LS40 Slim, but in stop scrolling. I'm trying to, there we go. But in general, SpeedX makes very good ESCs, and they're usually pretty reliable. Let's look at the LS40 Slim. No, SpeedX. And these are going to be slim with a FETs all in a row. Yeah, some slim ESCs for slim arms. I mean, if you need a slim ESC, I would buy $21. Wow. I would probably take a chance on these just based on SpeedX's name. That's what I would say. But is there... I don't know them specifically. Little Buddy says, I have your Race Day Quads flight controller. I lifted the camera signal pad. Do you have any alternate solutions? That stinks, dude. Once you lift there's no way to remap the camera signal. I'm sorry to say. The only thing to do is if you can figure out somewhere else on the board to solder a wire to get that same trace, that may work, but I don't know about that. It's going to be tough. Jeff Tapia says, I wish you would help us with Toothpick, Red Devil, Sailfly, Full Speed, Crazy Bee quality issues. Jeff, there's basically nothing I can do about the quality issues in the hobby. Here's the thing. I can tell you that certain products are worse than others. Like if there are products that just have I think it's just terrible, I'll call it out. But like all of those products, like the Full Speed, Sailfly, none of them are like super high quality, are they? There's this sort of baseline level of it's okay. Sometimes it's crappy. And if stuff is at least at that level, I don't particularly feel a need to call it out in a review because that's just like where we're at. When stuff is good, I like go out of my way to mention it. But if I review some new drone from Gep RC, L-Dark, you know, whatever, Real ACC, and I'm just like, well, it has to be pretty bad. Like the Like the ESCs on the Wizard X220 are so bad. They're so bad. They just smoke for no reason. And I call them out on it. I'm like, these are terrible. But this general sort of level of mediocrity, I don't feel the need to... because what am I going to do? Is it going to get better? Am I going to be like this? I'm just going to... You know who does that? XJet. Bruce, RC Model Reviews does that. Every product he gets, he's like, this is crap. This should be better. Well, he's not wrong. But just every review I did would be full of that. So I'm like, I kind of dial my outrage down to the level of the room. Right? And when something is particularly good, I call it out. When it's particularly bad, I call it out. But how could we lift up this general level of mediocrity? Well, we could buy from companies that make good products. Those products are more expensive. Oh, well, you don't want to do that. And I know you don't want to do that because I know those products are out there and you didn't buy them. So, just what the market seems to want is cheap, mediocre, kind of crappy sometimes products. And that's what people make and sell. Okay. Oh no. All that was just looking at that ESC. Now people are going to be like, he hates that ESC because he was talking about crappy products while looking at that ESC. Oops. No, that ESC is fine. I wasn't talking about that. Sorry. Alex. Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, that's why micros really challenge me. Like, micros are fun, but they're also, in some ways, they're more durable because they're smaller and lighter, but in some ways, they're more fragile just because they're smaller, and they just don't take a crash as well. I can't tell you, more often than it should, I get a product for review, like a new 2-inch or something, and I fly it and I crash it. It just breaks on the first crash. And I'm like, I'm going to give you an example. Hang on. Here's an example. I'm working on a review of this product. Oh, it hasn't synced yet, has it? Well, I can't show you an example because that video hasn't synced to my OneDrive yet, so I don't have the video. But I got this quadcopter and I flew it and it flew great and I liked it and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a good review. And then I crashed it like the first time. Granted, I crashed it into like some brick. Okay, fine. It was just a normal crash though. And then the ESC died and I was like, if I just spent $200 on this thing, I'd be so mad right now. But what are you going to do? I really don't. I really don't know. Von Zek wants to know if I can repeat the instructions for if you're having desyncs with steel motors and BL Heli. The answer is Demag high and timing to 27 degrees. That's what Alex Vanover says. Mike's camping in FPV. What would cause the ESC to keep resetting? If it's doing the full doo-doo-doot, that means it's losing power. If it's just going doo-doot, doo-doot, that means the flight controller is disconnecting or powering down. That's the answer. Let's see here. Have I heard they discontinued the X9D? What do I think? Andy, I'm not surprised if they discontinued the X9D. They definitely want to move people to the new Access radios. They want to get rid of D8. They want to get rid of the third-party receivers, and they want to get rid of Crossfire. I'm shocked that the new X9 Pro has the standard JR module bay. I can only assume that they've nerfed the inverter on it so you can't easily use Crossfire. I mean, so I'm not surprised they're ending it. I'm disappointed. I think the X9 is, I mean, it's my daily driver. I think it's a great radio. But I'm not surprised to hear, given FreeSky's sort of movement away from all those things, I'm not surprised to hear that they're discontinuing it. Orca goggles are in for pre-order at Get FPV, says Dilita Ranasisinga. No audio on the Fat Sharks. Well, Dayton Pierce, you're going to definitely want to make sure that you have a microphone on your quad, and you can test with the DVR. So if you suspect your earpiece, record the DVR in the Fat Sharks and see if they have audio. That's one thing. Rotorman Dan. Uh-oh. The Vanover's mom joke is taking off. It's going to get out of control now. She's a lovely lady. Stop. Stop. Don't pick on her. Let's see here. Oh, we got no questions. Everybody's just chilling out. Here we go. I was going to say, is the stream going to wind down? I got a treat for you guys toward the end of the stream. I got a treat for you. If you could wave a magic wand and make one perfect part to introduce to market with any features you want and perfect reliability, what part would it be and what features? That's interesting. Perfect reliability. I think the thing that would improve our experience the most would be a great video link. That's the thing I think we're most missing. Whether it's digital or what, but like a high-def, low-latency video link where we don't have to worry about stomping on each other and we can get 10 pilots in the air at once. That's the part I would wave a magic wand. Timing 27. I don't think I said 20. I don't think so, but I can double-check the advice from Mr. Vanover. Hang on. He said 27. DMAG high, timing 27. So if you're at 20 and it's working for you, don't change it, but let's see here. Travis Martinez says, who is JJ Rotor Geek? Always talking shit. I don't know. Who is a JJ Rotor Geek? There's always somebody out there trying to take a shot at me. I just keep smiling. That's what I learned from Corey, this guy, from good old Cricket FPV. He got them pearly whites, and you point a camera at him, and he just smiles. That's what I got to do. People take shots at me. Shake it off. Shake it off. Woo-hoo-hoo. JJ. Will I be doing a review on the Hoda charger, the one I ordered? Well, the thing is, Firefly, I already reviewed the HobbyMate D6 Duo. You can check my review of the HobbyMate D6 Duo. It's the same as the Hoda charger, except this one is only $100 and it doesn't have an AC input. So what's there to say? If you like that, but you already have a DC power supply, I think it's my favorite charger. It's a great charger. Yep. Well, Travis, a lot of people have a channel. A lot of people have a lot to say. I used to be one of them. I mean, I'm still one of them. I just have more subs now. Some people feel like they need to get successful by helping people, and some people feel like they need to get successful by talking shit about other people. And some people do both. Some people would accuse me of talking shit. I mean, I think that people who are big fans of TBS really dislike it when I call out a TBS product and criticize it strongly. And they would say, oh, I'm just trying to make my name by taking shots at somebody bigger than me. It's interesting. That would be an interesting accusation. I'm not going to defend an accusation that somebody else made, that I made of myself, you know. Yeah. If somebody wants to talk, here's the thing. As long as they're talking about you, you know you're successful. Like, I would rather have, what is his name? I would rather have JJ Rotor Geek talking shit about me on his channel than not have 130,000 subs and have nobody know who I am. So keep it up. Keep hating me. Yes. Feed the hate. Are F7s known to run hot or overheat? Sometimes they do run hot. They shouldn't overheat and they shouldn't shut down, though. Do I recommend the Copus 2 as a first drone for freestyle? Shane McDonough, if you buy the Copus, I think the Copus 2 is a really good bind and fly, ready to fly, but you're going to want to get some spare arms. You are going to break an arm pretty soon. if you crash it hard. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, here's what I got. We're getting to the end of the stream. What I want to show you guys is how am I gonna make this happen? Hang on. Can I move this? Oof. Hang on. Edit. Preference. See, give me 1 second here, guys. I got something that's you're gonna love this. A little sneak preview of tomorrow's video. Playback. Is that where it's gonna be? Yeah, turn that off. Okay. Okay. I need to make sure I can see my own screen. This is tomorrow's video. And let me turn off the desktop audio so you don't hear it. Yeah. You don't need to hear it, but... Oh, yeah. What is this? Oh, yes, I did. Am I going to be able to play this? Oh, it didn't render. Am I going to be able to play this back? Let me play it back slow speed, maybe. Yes, indeed. This is Rapid Fire versus the True DX. Hold on. I got to put this over here so I can see you guys' comments. This is the test of the Rapid Fire versus the True DX. And these results are coming out tomorrow, but for those of you who are still watching my live stream, here at the very, very end, I'm gonna give you a little sneak preview. And I don't know if my machine, this is actually 4K footage. I'm not sure if my machine will play it back happily, but let's try and see if it'll play back. Oh, you guys, hang on. Let me mute that. Hold on. Mute. Okay. Is it going to play back at full resolution? Let's see if it plays back. Oh, no. It's freezing up. Can I play it back in slow-mo? Hang on. Okay. It's 4K. My computer won't play back. It's fairly complex the way it's overlaid and stuff. My computer doesn't really like it. Here we go. Why are the colors on the Trudy so saturated? I don't know the answer to that. The Rapid Fire used to be oversaturated, and then I reported that to Immersion RC. Here we go. And they changed something that fixed it. But that is, in fact, what it looks like. The True DX has some really saturated colors. So at the beginning of this flight, we're in a metal building. This is a metal livestock ring warehouse, something, bleachers. And the ceiling walls are all metal. The floor is dirt, of course. We got tons of multipath, and that's the idea here, is to let you guys see how the multipath performance is. Yeah, no, but Andy RC, if I play back the preview at 1/8 quality, then you guys can't see the static and stuff. That's the problem. That doesn't work for the live stream. So we'll just watch it slow-mo together. And we want to be looking for, let me see if I can play it a little faster. We want to be looking for is those horizontal bands that indicate multipath. Honestly, they're both doing a pretty freaking good job. They're both doing a pretty freaking good job. I won't skew you by giving my opinion of which is doing better. You can see for yourself. It looks saturated from the interference breakup line. No, license to drive. It was oversaturated even when it was just sitting on the desk. It's not just the interference. Yep, True DX versus Rapid Fire. Now we go outside and we're going to do a little bit of like a range test. We're just going to fly in one direction till we lose signal. I had the pilot, I had a friend helping me. The pilot was standing in a different location so he could keep the signal. Oh my goodness. True DX struggling. What I see there is that the True DX was going like full pink, whereas the Rapid Fire kind of still stayed visible. Oh, they're coming back now. We've come out from around the side of the building. I feel like this one is, right this minute, I feel like Rapid Fire is definitely winning. How about that? And we keep flying until we basically get to the point. I got one more. Don't go yet. I got one more after this. Yeah, they're both struggling, but like I feel like right, there's a little preview of tomorrow's video, but wait, there's more. Oh, yes, I did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. This, haha, this is Rapid Fire versus the new Clearview. This is the Clearview 5.8G Racer. This is the, look how small it is. This is the new Clearview module, or ground station. Yeah, the Clearview made another ground station. And they have sent it to me to test, and this is the first public release of this test result, which will be in tomorrow's video. So let's see if the new Clearview module can redeem Clearview's name. Because, I mean, I don't think... I hate to badmouth anybody, but the Clearview module was kind of a boondoggle. Even if it had performed to spec, there was continuous delays. Pre-orders took forever to get filled. It had the manufacturing issue with their first release. So, and then, frankly, I think performance was not what people were hoping it would be, especially at the price point. So here is the Clearview Racer 5.8 V2. And let's see what we got. Like the slow boot up time of the Android, and ended up moving to something else. It's a good radio. Drew uses the iX12 and says it's good, but it also pisses me off all the time. Here's the multipath section in the metal building. Both of them looking really clean to me. Both of them looking really clean. And when you guys compare this to a traditional diversity module, these guys just look amazing how much better they are. You have no idea how much multipath is in this building and how bad maybe I'll show you. Here we're starting to get a little bit of multipathing, but it just really shows how freaking good these guys are at what they're doing, that this looks so clean. Now we're done with the multipath section. Who do you think won? We're going outside. We're going to do the long distance section. Little bit of breakup for both of them here. This is actually harder than it looks because of the way the metal wall of the building is. As soon as we get out the end of the building, then there's a door that the signal can come in, and it gets much clearer. So it's really sketchy here, but then in a second it's going to clear right up as we get toward the end of the building. Oh, this is pretty close. It's pretty close. Oh! Now this is the point where Iftron was like, we win! We win! Because Rapid Fire is the first one to actually just fully lose itself, right? Let me go back. See, we got signal. Neither of them has fully dropped out. But that length of time, I don't think it does. Now they're both really struggling. I gotta say, I don't think at any point in this test, Clearview fully, well, I don't know. I'm not sure Clearview ever has a dropout as long as that one Rapid Fire did. I don't know. You could see for yourself tomorrow when the video releases. Now they're both just like kind of gone. When I released my last video, Iftron was like, if you had gone to full edge of the range, then you would see that we do much better than Rapid Fire at the full edge of the range. See, here now coming back. Rapid Fire's sort of come back, and look, Clearview's got this weird, it hasn't really fully gotten its sync back. So here's the time when Rapid Fire back. Now that's the question, says Jeff for FPV, because the thing is, the Clearview is $300, and the Rapid Fire is 140, 160. I'm not sure. It varies and it depends on where you get it. So the real question is the Clearview? If you thought the Clearview won that one, would you pay an extra $150 for it? That's the real question. I can't tell you the answer. I said earlier, can't tell you what your money's worth to you. So Clearview MBFPV says the full module is $300. They have a goggle module for $250. Don't buy the goggle module. The Clearview goggle module, it doesn't, in my opinion, it never performed as good or better than the Rapid Fire, and it costs more. So if you're thinking about the Clearview goggle module, in my opinion, Rapid Fire was the better choice, just hands down. The Clearview ground station, I feel like it holds its own or beats in like 2 tests now. I feel like the Clearview ground station, the new Racer 2V 5.8, I think it has held its own or beat the rapid fire in the tests I've done. The only question is whether that's worth an extra $150 to you. Anyway. Cement Kid asks, do you have a video showing the PIDs and Betaflight setup for your perfect freestyle build? Cement Kid, there should be a link to my full config, or a copy paste of my full config in the video description. If I look at my perfect freestyle build, I hope that you will see that in the video description. Oh, hang on. I hope you'll see that it's there. Did I put it there? Oh my gosh, I didn't. How did I not do that? I did not put in the config. Wow. I kind of thought I had done that. Well, there you go. Well, I can't paste it to you in the chat, but if you reach out to me privately, I'll send it to you. I'll just send you the full setup for the quad. It's no problem. Alrighty, guys. There you go. That's going to wrap us up. It's going to wrap us up for the night. Thank you guys for coming along. We went a little bit longer tonight because we started a tiny bit late. So, no, Cement Kid, it's not there. It's not there. The config, I thought it was there, but it's not. I messed up. Oh, no, there it is. My bad. My Betaflight configuration dump for this build is at, and it's got a link. It is in the video description. I just linked it. I didn't give you the full file there. So just go check the video description. It's there. All right. Did I lock the channel with rapid fire, Jeremy Sarge? What do you mean? Rapid fire doesn't change channel dynamically. It doesn't do that. Yeah. Brenton Smith, what did you ask? I don't see your question. Okay. Really, FPV, thanks for $2. Shane McDonough, thanks for $2. That's going to do it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. I will see you guys again this coming Sunday at 1 p.m. That's my normal streaming time on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, and Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we'll get back to the normal schedule with no power outages or other things that are missing. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for everybody who contributed in the super chat, and thank you to my patrons in the Discord. If you want to join my Discord server, there's a link to my Patreon down in the video description. Very easy and cheap, $2 a month. Come on, am I worth $2? If you're not my patron, let me ask you, what else do you spend $2 a month on? No, that's none of my business. No. I always say that I never want to like beg, hassle, or cajole you for your patronage. All I want to do is let you know that it's there. And then hopefully one day you will go, oh my God, yes, you've earned it. I don't want to, like some people are like, if you feel like you learned anything, if I told you one thing you didn't know, you could think about joining my Patreon. I'm not going to guilt you into it or any of that stuff. I'm just going to keep being awesome and hope that eventually you're like, oh my God, fine, you're so awesome. Here's $2. That's my goal. How do you become a patron? Thank you for asking, Spent Kid. In the video description down below, there's a link to my Patreon page. You click on that, and you can join through the Patreon website for $2 a month or more. It's up to you. If you ever think to yourself, I don't know if I want to, just stop. Just unsub. No hard feelings. I only want people who would just feel like they're getting, I want you to feel like you're getting way more out of it, your arrangement than you are actually. You're like, yeah, that's my goal. All right. It's going to do it. That's going to do it, guys. We're going to wrap up. Thank you guys so much. Happy flying, everybody. That's going to do it for today.